Hello and welcome everyone on this official platform of Legacy IS Academy. So today in this session, I'm going to discuss one of the most important topics for your prelims examination, that is different philosophies in Jainism. Now Jainism, उस पे ऑलरेडी मैंने काफी सारे वीडियोस किए हुए हैं यूट्यूब पर, आप देख सकते हैं Legacy IS Academy के चैनल पर. Now in this session, I'm going to discuss the important philosophies because this is the demand of UPSC. Clear? This is the demand of UPSC. So there are different philosophies with respect to Jainism. Different philosophies are there. Getting my point? And UPSC always asks question. UPSC in prelims, they always ask question from the perspective of different philosophies. Clear? So let's begin with the session. Now, so first of all, Jainism. Now, there is a debate with respect to who is the founder of Jainism. Now, the word Jainism comes from the word called as Jinnah. This word comes from the word called as Jinnah. Jinnah means one who conquered the desire. Clear? And the followers of Jinnah are called as Jains. This much is clear to all of you. Though Jainism is considered as one of the oldest philosophy. Why? Because in Jainism there is a tradition of Tirthankara. First of all, Tirthankara. As you can see this word here, Tirthankara. Now this is one of the most important keyword which is associated with Jainism. Clear? So Tirthankaras are the founder of Tirath. अब ये वर्ड कहां से आया? This word comes from the word called as Tirath. Tirath. So remember this thing. That means a person achieves enlightenment and then shows the path to others, just like Mahavira, Buddha. Clear? So in Jainism, the word Tirthankara has been used. So that means the person achieves moksha or salvation at the end of his human life. Clear? Which is called as nirvana. Clear? So this idea of Tirath, what is now this idea of Tirath is to cross the river of human miseries, because everything is associated with sorrow with respect to various forms like greed, hatred, ignorance and all. Clear? So this word Tirthankara is associated with Jainism. Now in Jainism, what is Tirthankara? Tirthankaras were the great teachers who time and again appeared on this planet Earth to help people in difficult times. Getting my point? So this is the meaning of Tirthankara. So as per Jainism, there are 24 Tirthankaras. 24 Tirthankaras. Now 24 Tirthankaras just like Guru. Getting my point? Now remember this thing, no need to remember the names of all the Tirthankaras, but you should know first Tirthankara, then 23rd Tirthankara. First Tirthankara was Rishabh Dev, who is also called as Adinath. 23rd Tirthankara was Paraswanath, and 24th was Mahavira. Clear? Now there are different names which are mentioned in Jain text. Clear? अब महावीरा का नाम different forms में refer किया गया, like in Jainism, Mahavira is also called as Vardhaman. He is also called as Veer. So there are different names. So don't get confused. Different names of Mahavira, like Vardhaman, Veera, then Veer Prabhu, another name Veer Prabhu. Then he is also called as Sanmati, Sanmati, Sanmati. इनका और क्या नाम है? Sanmati. Clear? So he is also called as Sanmati. Then Ativira. Clear? He is also called as Ativira. Now let me tell you that the name or the description of Mahavira is also mentioned in Tamil text. Now in Tamil text, Mahavira is mentioned as Gnath Putra. Remember this thing. In Tamil text, Mahavira is mentioned as Gnath Putra. Clear everyone? So now, first Tirthankara, whose name is Rishabhdev. Now Rishabhdev is also mentioned in Rig Veda. The name Rishabhdev is also mentioned in Rig Veda. That is why Jainism, it is said that Jainism emerged during Rig Vedic times, because first Tirthankara is mentioned in Rig Veda. Clear? So remember this thing, in Pali text, Mahavira is mentioned as Niganth Nat Putta. So in Pali canon, Mahavira is represented as Niganth Nat Put in Pali canon. So there are 24 Tirthankaras and the last one was Mahavira. Now the literature, now remember this thing, their sacred literary tradition. अब इनके literary traditions को क्या कहा जाता है? Their sacred literary tradition is called as Anushruti. So if this keyword is asked in UPSC prelims examination, so don't get confused. Let me tell you. Getting my point? Because that is why we are explaining each and every philosophy with respect to this. So their sacred literary tradition is called as Anushruti. Clear? Now, important facts with respect to Mahavira. ये आप सभी को पता होगा. Now, let me tell you that his mother was Trishala, who was the sister of Licchavi king Chetak. Clear? And his father was Siddharth. So his clan was, or you can say his Varna was Kshatriya. Mahavira Varna was Kshatriya. Clear? So his kingdom was Licchavi kingdom, and in Licchavi Vajji Republic kingdom was there. Vajji, which is also mentioned in Mahajanpadas. And later Vajji was conquered by Magad. Clear? Now, as per the tradition of Shwetambaras, as we know that there are two sects in Jainism. अब एक चीज याद रखिएगा, that there are two sects in Jainism. One is Shwetambaras, another Digambaras. Now, as per Shwetambaras, they say that Mahavira got married to Yashoda, and with whom he got a daughter called as Anonja or Priyadarshana, and his son-in-law was Jamali. Now, this story as per Shwetambaras. Now, Digambara tradition क्या कहता है? Digambara tradition says that Mahavira never married. अब देखिए views हैं यहाँ पर different. Mahavira never married as per Digambaras. So at the age of 42, he attained Kaivalya Gyan. That means supreme knowledge, ultimate truth. Getting my point? Under a sal tree on the banks of Rijupalika river. Clear? Which is also called as omniscience, on 10th day of Vaisakh Mash. Clear? And then he became Jimbik. Jimbik means through right knowledge, right faith and right conduct. So these three are three Ratnas in Jainism. Clear? That means on this occasion, he attained these things through right knowledge, right faith and right conduct. He attained supreme knowledge. That means Kaivalya Gyan. And that is why these three are called as Three Ratna of Jainism. That is KFC. Knowledge, faith and conduct. Getting my point? And then he became Jinnah. Jinnah means a person who conquered his senses or desires. Clear? And then he became Tirthankara. So he used Prakrit language to teach the people, to give his message. So he used Prakrit language, that is considered as Ardh Magadi Prakrit, so that ordinary people could understand. because Sanskrit was the language of intellectuals. So then he died at Pavapuri and became Siddh. So after that he became Siddh, that means free from the cycle of birth and death. And after the death of Mahavira, the first chief, the first head was Sudharman. The name Sudharman in different texts. Clear? Now, that is why in Jainism, the most important thing is Mahamastak Abhishek. Now, this Mahamastak Abhishek, it is the important festival which celebrate at Shravan Belgola in Karnataka after every 12 years. Getting my point? And remember this thing, that the notable text about Mahavira, Mahavira के बारे में जो notable text है, that text is Kalpa Sutra. Remember this thing, Kalpa Sutra. Now this Kalpa Sutra is written by Acharya Bhadrabahu. Acharya Bhadrabahu. Bhadrabahu is known for the formation of Digambara sect. Digambara sect. Clear? And first Sanskrit biography of Mahavira was Vardhaman Charita by Asag. तो पहली संस्कृत बायोग्राफी किसने लिखी? असाग ने. That is called as Vardhaman Charita, just like Buddha Charita. Clear? Now, so different Jainism philosophy. Now, with respect to Jainism philosophy, the important text which mentions about this called as Mahapuran. Mahapuran is considered as great Jainism text. Now, great Jainism text which was composed by Acharya Jina Sen. Now, this text was composed by Acharya Jina Sen, and Acharya Jina Sen was in the court of Rashtrakuta ruler Amogh Varsh. आप सभी ने नाम सुना होगा अमोघ वर्ष का. Clear? So he was in the court of Rashtrakuta ruler Amogh Varsh, and he composed Mahapuran. But Mahapuran was completed by his pupil Gunabhadra. It was started by Acharya Jina Sen but completed by his pupil Gunabhadra. Clear? तो अब जैन theory क्या कहती है? As per Jain theory, the world is not created. Now this text says that the world is not created by any creator or supreme divine authority. This world is created through a universal law. ये वर्ल्ड कैसे चल रहा है? यूनिवर्सल लॉ के थ्रू. So the world is not created or maintained or destroyed by any supreme authority or divine authority, but it functions according to universal law of cyclic existence. Clear? So that is why Jainism does not acknowledge the existence of supreme divine or creator. Getting my point? They do not believe in the authority of God. Clear? That is why in Jainism they mention about 6 dravyas or 6 cosmic philosophies. Cosmic philosophies. अब ये cosmic philosophies क्या है? जीव अजीव. जीव means living beings. Ajiv means non-living substances. That is why Jain philosophy says that even non-living things have soul. Clear? The same statement was asked in UPSC prelims examination earlier. Clear? Then Pudgal. Pudgal means matter, physical substance, matter. Then Dharma Tattva. Now Dharma Tattva means principle of motion. That the physical body and everything, it should be in motion. And rest is considered as adharma in Jainism. That means adharma tattva is principle of rest. And then Akash. Akash refers to space. And then Kal means time. As per Jainism philosophy. Getting my point? That is why in sabhi philosophy ko, that means these philosophies exist in worldly matters. So it is called as samsar. Samsar means worldly life characterized by continuous rebirth and reincarnation in the realms of existence. Clear? So ये संसार क्या है? जहां पर reincarnations, rebirths, ये सारी चीजें होती हैं. लोग चेंज करते रहते हैं continuously. So existence is full of suffering and misery. That is why renunciation is necessary. Getting my point? That is why renunciation is necessary. So at last the most important thing, now अब अगर किसी इंसान को इन संसार की चीजों से मुक्त होना है, a person, if that person want to liberate from these samsar, then moksha is necessary, and moksha is the only liberation from these cycle of samsar. Clear? As per Jain philosophy. Okay, now अब मोक्ष कैसे अटेन किया जाए, ये भी सवाल है. हाउ टू अटेन मोक्ष, दैट इज ऑल्सो वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग. सो मोक्ष कैन बी अटेन थ्रू त्रिरत्न. A person should follow Triratna. So moksha can be attained through Triratna in Jainism. Now Triratna means right conduct, right faith, and right action. So as you can see here, right faith means Samyak Darshan. Now this right faith means a person should have a belief in the teachings and wisdom of Mahavira. Samyak Gyan means right knowledge. That means a person has to accept the theory that there is no God. Clear? That the world has been existing without God or without a creator, and all the objects possess soul. So living and non-living things, everything has soul according to Jainism. Remember this thing. Clear? So, and the last Triratna is right conduct, which is called as Samyak Acharan, right conduct. So it mentions that a Jain or a person should observe 5 great vows. 5 great vows means Panch Mahavratas in Jainism. Panch Mahavratas like Satya, not to lie, झूठ नहीं बोलना है. Ahimsa, non-violence, not to injure anyone, non-violence. Clear? Astya, not to steal, and aparigrah, not to acquire property. That means don't accumulate wealth. Now let me tell you, these 4 vows, now remember this thing, these 4 vows are given by Paraswanath. These 4 vows are given by Paraswanath in Jainism. And 5th one, that is Brahmacharya. Clear? Brahmacharya is added by Mahavira. So Brahmacharya means not to lead an immoral life, which is also called as chastity. Clear? So these 5 together are considered as 5 vows or Panch Mahavratas in Jainism. इसीलिए कहा जाता है that every living being has a soul, and Jainism considers that every soul is potentially divine with innate qualities of infinite knowledge. Getting my point? इसीलिए लोगों के ऊपर क्या है, एक मास्क है कर्म का, and that is why Jain people or Jainism, it thinks that every being as themselves, harming no one. Clear? And that is why every human being should be kind to all the living beings. Clear? And this is the basis of non-violence in Jainism. Non-violence is one of the most important thing in Jainism. Remember this thing. Clear? So ahimsa is such a cardinal principle of Jainism. Ahimsa kya hai? It is the cardinal principle of Jainism. It is called as the beginning as well as the end of Jain religion. Getting my point? So ahimsa means not to hurt anyone, not to kill anyone. That is why even Jain people, they even do not practice agriculture, because it resulted into the killing of germs. Clear? Then insecticides and all. Clear? So this is the philosophy in Jainism. Now another important thing is Anuvratas. Now what do you understand by this philosophy called as Anuvratas? Anuvratas is a kind of code of conduct for both householders and for monks. Anuvratas kya hai? It is a kind of code of conduct for householders as well as monks. So Jain philosophy Anuvrata mentions that to avoid evil karma, householder had to observe 5 vows in their limited nature. तो हर हाउस होल्डर को वो 5 vows, that means पंच महाव्रतास should follow. Clear? So Jainism believed in monastic life, which is essential to attain salvation, and that is why a householder could not attain salvation. Clear? Because to attain salvation, you have to adopt monastic life. So a monk had to observe strict rules and they have to abandon worldly possessions. दुनियावी चीजों को छोड़ना पड़ेगा. Clear? So that is why there is an idea of soul and matter. So Mahavira believed that soul means jeev and matter means ajeev. Remember this thing: soul, jeev, and matter, ajeev. And these are two basic existing elements. Getting my point? And that is why he says that, Mahavira says that soul is in the state of bondage. Soul हमेशा किसी से, दुनियावी चीजों से जुड़ा रहता है. That is why soul is always accumulated through desires, through previous births. Getting my point? And that is why जब liberate हो जाता है soul इन सभी चीजों से, so liberated souls became pure soul, जिसके अंदर कोई greed ना हो, ignorance ना हो, hatred ना हो. Clear? So he thought that all objects, animate and inanimate, had soul. So that is why he says that even living things and non-living things had soul. And the same statement was asked in prelims examination earlier. Clear? And one more thing, he believed that even non-living things also felt pain and the influence of injury. Clear? So Mahavira also rejected the authority of Vedas, and Mahavira objected to Vedic rituals and supremacy of Brahmanas, which resulted into the degradation of other Varnas. Getting my point? तो इसी की वजह से आप देखेंगे कि अदर वर्णास को काफी ज्यादा डिग्रेड किया गया, and that maintained supremacy of Brahmins. Now there are some symbols which are associated with Jainism, and this question was also asked in previous year prelims examination. So there are certain symbols which are associated in Jainism like swastik, Nandvarta, then Bhadarshana, then Shivatsa, then Kalash, then Vardhamanka, and then Meena Yugla, and then Darpan. Now UPSC asked what these symbols or their philosophies refers. So let me tell you, these are considered as 8 auspicious symbols of Jainism. Swastik represent what? Swastik represent peace and well-being of humans. It represents peace and well-being of humans. Then Nandavarta, this question was asked in prelims and that statement was wrong. Nandavarta लिखा था and meaning किस चीज का दिया हुआ था? दर्पण का. Clear? That is why that statement was wrong. As you can go through our PYQ discussion videos, you can see there. So Nandavarta means a large swastik with 9 end points, which is considered as very spiritual in Jainism. Then Bhadrasan. Now Bhadrasan, it is a throne is said to be sacrificed by Jain feet. Now this statement was also asked. Bhadrasan means if a ruler is going to take the throne, that is to be sanctified by Jainas feet. Then Shivatsa. Shivatsa means this mark manifests on the chest of Tirthankara's image and signifies his pure soul. अब ये जो शिवस्ता का मार्क है, it should be there on the chest of Tirthankara. On the chest of Tirthankara. As you can see here, Shivasa. This mark should be there on the chest of Tirthankara. Clear? Which represents the pure soul. Then Darpan. Darpan means what? A mirror which reflects the inner self. Remember this thing. Darpan का मतलब क्या है? This is a mirror which reflects the inner self. Then Mina Yugla. Mina Yugla means a couple of fish which signifies the conquest over sexual urges. That means you have to conquer your desires, you have to conquer your senses. Clear? Then Vardhamanka, a shallow dish used as a lamp. अब ये क्या शो करती है? This shows that increase in wealth due and merit. Clear? And then Kalash, a pot filled with pure water. So these are considered as 8 auspicious symbols in Jainism. Now apart from this, there is also one mantra in Jainism called as Navakar mantra. Now what is Navakar mantra? This is a fundamental prayer which should be recited by the Jains in day-to-day life, once in a time, once in a day. Getting my point? And any time. So this is a fundamental prayer in Jainism and it can be recited at any time of the day. Now in this prayer, devotees bows with respect to these things. अब ये प्रेयर किस लिए की जाती है? नवाकर मंथ, so that devotees can pay respect, can bow towards different gurus in Jainism. Like there are 5 types of gurus. First, Arihantas. अब ये keywords हैं. This question was asked in prelims examination. First, Arihantas. Arihantas are liberated souls, pure souls. Then Siddha Purush. They are considered as fully liberated souls. So after the death, Mahavira became Siddha Purush, fully liberated soul. And then Acharyas. Acharyas are spiritual leaders. Clear? And then Upadhyas. Upadhyas are like teachers. Clear? Upadhyas are like teachers. And they can also become Acharyas. And then Munis, Sant. Clear? Or monks. So these are 5 types of spiritual people. Clear? Now there are other related terms in Jainism. Now let me tell you these keywords, Arihant, Arhat, how these keywords are different, how these things are different from other keywords. Arihant means one who has destroyed his inner enemies. वो इंसान जिसने अपने अंदर की सभी डिजायर्स को खत्म कर दिया, सप्रेस कर दिया. So Arihant, one who has destroyed his inner enemies. Arhat means one to whom nothing can be secret. किसी से कुछ भी छुपा नहीं है. Clear? Nothing can be secret. Arhant. This is Arhat. Arhant means spiritual acquisition leading a man to the state of Arihant. It is a kind of process. Clear? अब Arihant बनने के लिए आपको spiritual knowledge चाहिए. So in this scenario, spiritual acquisition leading to a man in the state of Arihant. Clear? And then Nigranth. Nigranth means one who has gotten rid of all the attachments. जिसने सभी दुनियादारी छोड़ दी हो. Clear? One who detached itself from all the worldly bonds. Clear? Remember this thing. Now Nigranth was the philosophy. Nigranth was the philosophy of Paraswanath. It was the philosophy of Paraswanath. This much is clear to all of you. So remember, these philosophies are very important for your prelims examination. Now, after the death of Mahavira, Jain Sangh or Jain Church was created, just like Buddhist Sangh. And in Jain Sangh, 4 types of peoples were there. Now, Jain Sangh by Tirthankar, it was created. So in this Jain Sangh, sadhus were there who are called as monks. Sadhvis are there called as nuns, female monks. Clear? And then Shravakas. Now Shravaks are called as male householders. Male householders can also become a part of Jain Sangh, and Shravikas means female householders. So these 4 types of people are in Jain Sangh. Now, what is the idea of salvation in Jainism? Now Jainism says that liberate yourself from desires. Clear? And even in Buddhism also, liberate yourself was from desires in Buddhism also. But Buddha talked about karma marg. बुद्धा ने किस चीज की बात की थी? कर्म मार्ग की. Getting my point? But in Jainism, Mahavira talked about Gyan Marg. So in Jainism, which mentions that securing highest knowledge, that means Kaivalya Gyan, supreme knowledge. So Kaivalya is salvation. When a person receives supreme knowledge, that is considered as salvation. So in Jainism advocated for Gyan Marg. Clear? Remember this thing. And then existence of God. So in Buddhism, Buddha was silent on the existence of God. Buddha neither rejected nor accepted. So he was silent. So Buddhism, Buddha remained silent and agnostic. He made no categorical statement with respect to God. But Mahavira declared that God exists but is not responsible for the evolution of human or universe. कि God तो है, but God is not responsible for the creation of universe. So remember one more thing, that Jainism believes in God after Tirthankara. So in Jainism, the most important personalities are Tirthankara. Clear? So universe is running according to on its own or universal laws. Clear? Because Jainism believes in Gyan Marg. Clear? Now, there are 5 types of knowledge in Jainism. So according to Jainism, knowledge is the quality of soul. अब ये भी डिपेंड करता है किस तरह की नॉलेज. सो देयर आर 5 टाइप्स ऑफ नॉलेज इन जैनिज्म एंड एक्वायरिंग नॉलेज आर अटेन थ्रू प्रमाण. रिमेंबर दिस थिंग. How people acquire knowledge? Attained through pramana. Pramana means one of the instrument of knowledge, and nyaya means point of view. Clear? So let me tell you, in Jainism there are 5 types of knowledge. First is called as Mati Jnan. Now Mati Jnan means, or Mati Gyan, which is also called as Mati Gyan. Now Mati Gyan means perception through the activity of sense organ including the mind. कि जो हमारा माइंड या हमारे सेंसेस डेवलप करते हैं परसेप्शन, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज मति ज्ञान और मति नॉलेज. सेकेंड टाइप ऑफ नॉलेज इज श्रुता ज्ञान, नॉलेज रिवील्ड बाय स्क्रिप्चर्स, नॉलेज दैट वी गेट फ्रॉम डिफरेंट बुक्स और स्क्रिप्चर्स. थर्ड इज अवधि ज्ञान. अवधि ज्ञान मीन्स क्लेयरवेंट परसेप्शन, दैट मीन्स इट इज अ काइंड ऑफ बेसिस ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस. गेटिंग माई पॉइंट? ये एक्सपीरियंस बेस्ड नॉलेज होती है. एंड देन मन प्राय ज्ञान. मन प्राय ज्ञान मीन्स टेलीपैथिक नॉलेज. क्लियर? एंड देन सुप्रीम नॉलेज कम्स केवल्य ज्ञान. केवल्य ज्ञान मीन्स टेम्परल नॉलेज और omniscience. क्लियर? सो दिस इज कॉल्ड एज सुप्रीम नॉलेज और अल्टीमेट ट्रूथ. क्लियर? सो महावीरा's teachings were orally transmitted to people. Getting my point? So महावीरा की जो टीचिंग्स है, these teachings were all orally transmitted to people, and Mahavira's disciples were called as Ganadharas. So the disciples of Mahaviras are called as Ganadharas. Getting my point? And Ganadharas. So after the death of Mahavira, Mahavira gave his teachings in Prakrit language, Ardha Magadhi. And after the death of Mahavira, his teachings were written down by his disciples. So his disciples are called as Ganadharas, who wrote the teachings of Mahavira in the text in the form of 14 Purvas. Clear? So Mahavira's की teachings को उनके disciple Ganadharas ने कैसे लिखा? In terms of 14 Purvas. But later in first Jain council, those 14 Purvas were reduced to 12 Angas. That means those 14 Purvas compiled into 12 Angas, a literature. Clear? And among these 12 Angas, the most important are Acharanga Sutta and Bhagavati Sutta. Out of these 12 Angas, Acharanga Sutta and Bhagavati Sutta are more important. Clear? Now remember this thing, Acharanga Sutta deals with the code of conduct of Jain monks. ये जो scripture है, ये किससे deal करता है? This deals with the code of conduct which a Jain monk must follow, and Bhagavati Sutta talks about Jain doctrines. So just like Buddhism, Vinay Pitak is for code of conduct and for monks and nuns, and Sutta Pitak, clear, is for the teaching, that means teachings of Buddha. So here also Bhagavati Sutta is related to Jain doctrines comprehensively. Clear? Now apart from these things, there are some other philosophies in Jainism which is considered as very important in terms of Jainism, and those philosophies are Shunyavad or Shadvad basically and Anekantvad. अब ये Shadvad और Anekantvad होता क्या है? First we should understand what do you understand by this Shadvad and Anekantvad. Now Shadvad says that all judgments are not final. Clear? Because they judgments are differ in different contexts. कोई भी judgment final नहीं होते, because every judgment is given as per the context of that time and space. So Shadvad, this is considered as theory of judgment, and Jain's view is that all our ordinary knowledge is necessary partial. That is not a complete knowledge. Our ordinary knowledge is partial because all that knowledge is always relative to some particular point of view, a particular context. Clear? A particular aspect of object which is called as Shadvad. Clear? So according to this concept, identity and difference must exist in reality, क्योंकि सारे judgment किसी context में दिए जाते हैं. Anekantvad says that truth has many faces. Truth has many faces means no single judgment is sufficient for establishing the truth. क्योंकि हर एक चीज के मल्टीपल पर्सपेक्टिव हो सकते हैं. दैट इज व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड एज अनेकांत, अनेक व्यूज. So, Anekant was, according to this, ultimate truth and reality is complex and it has multiple aspects or multiple faces because all judgments are not final, because these things are interpreted to different terms. Clear? So, now the truth is non-absolute, intellectual ahimsa is needed and religious pluralism should be there for debate, and then rejection of fanaticism. So Anekantava theory says that truth has many faces, many aspects. So no single judgment is sufficient for the establishment of truth. So this is considered as one of the most important philosophy or doctrines in Jainism. Now apart from this, I would like to tell you some NCERT terminologies. Now NCERT is one of the basic demand of UPSC. And we have seen that every year around 5 to 7 questions will be directly from NCERTs with respect to keywords nowadays. So there are some important keywords which are mentioned in your NCERT like Anekantvad, Shaadvad, which we have discussed just now. So these are related to judgments. कि अब ये दोनों philosophies क्या कहती हैं? That all the judgments are conditional, are not final. That is why this is called as Saptabhangi. Clear? Second important keyword is Sallekna. Sallekna is considered as extreme fast, that is fast unto death in Jainism, and this was performed by Chandragupta Maurya. That is why because of starvation he died. Clear? So Sallekna means monk voluntarily faces death by fasting and gradually reducing their food and liquid intake. Now what is the condition for Sallekna? Sallekna should be performed when person achieves each and everything in life. Clear? Then it should be performed. Then third important thing, pratikramana. Pratikramana means Jain repent for their sins. This is called as pratikramana. So these are the terminologies in NCERT. Then samvara, stopping materialism and moving towards spiritualism. So samvara means stopping materialism. Then basadis. Now basadis means Jainas monastic establishment. Clear? That monastery type of thing should be there, Sangha should be there. That is called as basadis. Then asrav. Asrav means inflow of karmas to the soul that occurs at every second in life. हमारे सोल में जो कार्मिक चीजें हैं वो अकर करती रहती है every second. Clear? So that is called as asrav. Then nirjara. Nirjara means removal of those accumulated karmas from the soul. So asrav means inflow of karmas in soul, and then nirjara means removal of accumulated karmas from the soul, and this is essential for breaking free from sansar. And this is the only way that you can detach yourself from samsar thing, that is cycle of birth and death. Clear everyone? So I hope this much is clear to all of you. So this is all about Jainism philosophy. Clear? So this session will be helpful for you with respect to prelims examination. Now if UPSC asks any question with respect to philosophy, you will be able to attempt that question. So go through this video again and again, revise each and everything wisely. All the best for your prelims examination. Thank you so much.